hot off the presses, right out from their company, sent directly to us. We have Disney's Sorcerer's Arena, the Epic Alliances. This is the core set. Now, if you've played the mobile app game, there's going to be a little bit of similarity to this. If you're a big fan of that game, you should definitely jump in to buy this one. But let's open it up and we'll talk a little bit more about how to play this game and what you get inside the box. So first off the bat, it is a nice large format box. If you are a game collector who puts all your games on a shelf to show off to people, this might be a little bit difficult to put next to your other items, but it's still, I mean, look at that box. It's got a little lock on it. It's a fake lock, of course. But, open that up and we go right into it. This is the game manual. Then we got punch card tokens. You gotta love punch cards, right? I mean, that's so much fun. It's so satisfying. We have the game board. We got the standees, and then we actually got the characters. We got indicators here for the stands, cards, and reference cards. So the board is a traditional hexagon shape. So in the game you have characters such as, oh, they even have Desdemona in here. Aladin, Mickey, Ariel, Maleficent, Gaston, and a couple more additional ones. And you have little play bases as well that match them. When the game starts, they have multiple different ways you can play the game. But to start it off, I'd highly recommend playing just Chapter 1, which is their base setup, where each player starts with just 2 summoners, and it's specific. So, for instance, you have Mickey and Aladin on one team, and you have Gaston and Ariel on the other. An unlikely team for sure, but still plenty of fun. You would then choose, you have to put your characters on their base boards, which I'm going to not do right now just so I can kind of show off something. And then you would place on their base board the health indicator marking their max health. This is very important because characters will have health and that will change throughout the game. But like, say for instance, you have Aladin. These aren't their exact boards, but you know, that's something for you to figure out later. Versus Ariel, they would have these healths on their turn. So the way the game works is you get rid of, at the start of the thing, you get rid of a status level, you would drop a card, you would basically do some housekeeping. For instance, if your character is standing on one of the victory point spaces, you would automatically get a victory point token. And then after that, you start going towards the actual play phase. Now, for instance, on your turn, you get a move and an attack for your characters. Now, the move is normally just 2 spaces of your choice, or you could play a movement card from your deck. And that movement card will allow you to maybe do something special or additional than what you'd normally be able to do. On your attack turn, you just do 2 attack damage to the other player, or whatever a movement and an attack card you might play might specifically say you could do, but doing that will basically spend one of your cards. Then if you do the 2 damage, the player health would go down. If you knock out a player, you get victory points equal to their victory point rank on their card. And that's really important because that's the way the game works. You want to get those victory points. Specifically for the victory points, if a player's deck can no longer be drawn from, then the game is over and the player with the most victory points wins. The other way for the game to end is for players themselves to score 12 victory points. So if you can get to 12 victory points on your turn, which can happen a lot by knocking out these people. For instance, to give you an idea, taking out Ariel gets you 4 victory points. Taking out Gaston gets you 6. Aladin also gets you 6, while Mickey will only get you 4. The reason why the victory points are higher is because the health levels are higher. So for instance, Gaston has 10, Ariel has 8, Mickey has 8, and Aladin has 9. So the harder it is to take out the hero, the more victory points you're going to get. Additionally, which you haven't checked out yet, which is going to be the decks. The decks are cards specifically for use. So like for instance, we have a Gaston deck, and his cards have things in it like Brawler. Deal 4 damage to an adjacent rival. If that rival is not adjacent to any other rivals, this rival or summoner card chooses and banishes a card from their hand. And then we got Fury. Deal 1 damage to an adjacent rival. You gain an additional movement phase or action phase this turn. That's really good because then you can technically do 3 damage. Because you can basically do normal damage or you can choose to play another card. And there's Shove. Deal 3 damage to an adjacent rival and then moves that rival up to 2 spaces. You may not move that rival through other characters this way. Sheer Bravado. Deal 4 damage to an adjacent rival. If Gaston and that rival are not adjacent to any other characters, deal 6 damage instead. That is game-breaking. To be able to do that much damage, I mean, you're talking about taking out, like, almost taking out Mickey. That's brutal. This is a movement card from him. Shrug it off. Move Gaston. Remove any status effect of your choice from Gaston and move to 3 spaces. And this is probably the more rare card because there's only one of them. Let's Dance. Move an adjacent character 1 space and then move to 2 spaces. So you can see these cards are very cool. You probably definitely want to use 1 per turn because if you don't, your hand limit will go above 6, and at the end of your turn you have to discard down to 6. So you don't want to throw away cards. But you don't want to also use a lot of your cards like multiple times because the faster you run out of your decks, the faster you're not going to be, the faster the game is over. And if you aren't winning, that's going to be a bad choice. Now, if your character does get KO'd, it's fine. You reset their health to max, remove any status effect that might affect them, and then you would just put them back on the back row of your board, starting over their actions on their next turn. The base setting for playthrough is going to be Mickey, Ariel, Aladin, Gaston, but if you are playing with the later levels, you get to choose your heroes, your characters, and then the order is going to still be blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, depending on how many players you chose in the game. This again is their core set. They are planning on releasing additional expansions with other characters. So if the characters that you love and know aren't in this game, don't fret. There are more coming out, and hopefully we'll see those in the game as well. Well, again, we release these Rants review videos every Friday, so if you haven't checked out the ones before, please go back and look at our prior Friday episodes, and keep your eyes here every Friday for a new one. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.